my gosh, y'all. I, you don't understand the nature, the gravity, the gravitas of what's happening right now. Like y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. This extraordinary, wonderful, whimsical woman. I'm not doing an intro, so don't even ask, like, wait, who is this? What is the name of it? That doesn't matter. Because what matters right now is that this woman that I have as a guest in the home of whatever this page is, she has been such a key player in terms of how I navigated this space. She is so warm. She is so friendly. She's so kind. She is so caring. She is so talented. She is so beautiful. And I'm so happy for her. And I just want to say the Jack Attack is back. The inspiration for Apple Jacks herself. Y'all, please welcome the splendiferous Jaclyn Collier.
Okay, that was the most moving, fun, hype girl intro I've ever gotten. I'm gonna need to record that and play it during those times when you're just like, oh, life's rough. And I have to thank you for always letting me invite myself over to your home. Like from the very beginning, I was like, hey, can I come over and talk about mysteries? Hey, can I come over and talk about this? Hey, can I come over and talk about that? And you always welcome me with open arms. And don't think it's weird that I'm like just banging on your door trying to come over to your house.
Never. And I've told you this. You have fridge privileges. You just come right on over. You go into that fridge, get yourself whatever you want. Next thing you know, I'll leave a toothbrush for you and a pair of jammies and some slippers. It's
So I
gonna
do
be
think
great.
I do need like the toothbrush there so I don't have to travel with it. You know what I
I
mean? Like
got you.
maybe
I
I keep
got
like
you.
one outfit in a drawer.
I got you. Yes. And we got a pair of slippers with your name on it. Just
Even better.
Oh my gosh, Jack's like hot. Like it's been so long. It's
It's been
like
too long, although I feel like because of the wonderful parasocial nature of life, I was just telling you, I was watching your interview with Brandon Clark, and I'm like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends. And I'm like, oh, they don't, I'm not there, but I'm there. Like they're here for me. So I feel like it's been less of a long time than it has been because every time you're having these wonderful, fun conversations with people, I feel like I'm just the third that's there with you guys.
and listen, you're outside. Let me tell you, because you are talking about that Sex and the City reboot, and I think it's called And Just Like That with Rachel on Hallmarkies. You're talking about stuff on Deck the Hallmark. Like you are out here, and I've seen you bippity boppity booing around the podcast circuit for Double Scoop, which is why you're here today. So I could say the same thing about you, ma'am. Like it's been long for this, but not really, because I'm like, she stays outside, and I love it. I love it. I love it.
Isn't it crazy to think that like when we were growing up, like podcasting wasn't a thing, and now I'm like, oh, it's how I see a lot of my friends. It's like what I do with some of my free time. It's part of what I do for my job. Like it wasn't even a medium then.
No, I had that kind of existential like thought last night. Literally, I was in bed watching something on my phone, and it was like one of those stupid just make you laugh videos, and I just was watching it on a loop. And then I kind of like That's So Raven zoned out, and I was like, I'm in my bed watching someone else from a whole other state or country on this device made of who knows what. Like I was just I kind of had a moment there. And it's like to think that people now have a way of getting their thoughts and opinions across with these little things you can get from a RIP Radio Shack, but like from like an electronics store or wherever. Like it really is like I didn't think I would get into it. I remember always listening to podcasts though in like 2015, 2016, and I'm like, man, how cool would it be to like have a podcast or something? And then I found this app where I could record it on my phone. And that's how I started. And it's like, whoa, what a like Wizard of Oz whirlwind. Like seriously.
No, I'm curious for you because my gateway into listening to podcasts was Serial and like all the true crime stuff, which I
Mm.
don't podcast about anything that's true crime. I mean, you know that I love mysteries, but
Yeah.
I'm curious for you what your like entry point, what kind of podcast were you listening to?
Oddly enough, I just got into corporate America after graduating grad school, so I was listening to a lot of like black girl corporate podcasts. So anything that related to like black women being in corporate America or even like business related, oddly, which
Mhm.
when I think about it now, I'm like, because I'm not into it now. But like I kind of wanted to get into the vibe of like, okay, I'm a big girl now. I got a
Yes,
job. What's my frame of thinking? Like, is there anybody talking about this, talking about how I'm feeling in the moment? And so that was my gateway into podcasts.
which is so interesting because I could absolutely see you hosting a podcast like this, but you're like, you know what? I'm going to take everything I learned here and like implement it in a certainly a black girl business corporate boss way, but just the content of it, you're like, no, I'm gonna be over here.
And that's a whole other thing though, because I wasn't even planning to do a Hallmark podcast, Jax. I was only going to be on YouTube. Like I never wanted, because I already at that point I was doing like a literature podcast. That's what I was excited about was books. But then this dude named Tyler Hines saw my review of It Was Always You and then posted it in his stories. And then people kept asking me about my opinion about movies. And I was like, I ain't got the bandwidth, so let me just talk about it through podcast. Because I'm like, I don't know how to communicate, like tell these people what I think without just sharing it. You know what I'm saying? Having like a common space where people could come and hear what I got to say. And so that's really how it started. But I had no intentions of actually doing like a proper Hallmark podcast, which is hilarious.
I do like that, like, it really came to you because when Tyler Hines sort of like ushers you into the space in that way, and then you're like, okay, there are a lot of eyes on me now, and I can't be giving my singular reviews to all these friends. I'm just gonna need to open up the home and have people come in, take their shoes off, put their slippers on.
It's a perpetual housewarming. That's what this is. It's a perpetual housewarming where people just rotate in and out. We have a revolving door of lovely people who come in, drop gems, and then leave. And it's fantastic. And I'm all better for it, honestly.
I
I'm all
love
better
though
for
that
it.
the Tyler Hines of it all. It's like, did that man even know what he was starting when he did that? Probably not.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even know Hallmark people had Instagram. That's how ignorant I was. I was so like, I was just like, he has an Instagram, and then I typed in his name. I was like, oh, he has an Instagram. Like I was so disconnected from this whole. Like he introduced me to this whole space on Instagram. Like I had no idea people were already communing like over this stuff because that's why I started it because my family don't care about it and I'm like y'all suck. I need some people that I can talk to about this stuff. So
Where are my people?
exactly, and you are one of my people, and I'm so happy. And y'all are so the history of Dara and Jax here because the mysteries. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Like, because we share the same sentiment in the sense of like we're not ones to watch too much violence. Like we have a pretty like low tolerance, I would say, for that. And
Yeah.
so our bonding over the Hallmark mysteries, and you can if you watch in the Dear Hallmark archives, you'll see we did a couple of recaps of some Hallmark mysteries for you. But Jax, can you tell the people who may not be familiar just with who you are or even your relationship with Hallmark movies and Hallmark mysteries? Just talk to the peoples about like how you got into watching Hallmark movies and then specifically like Hallmark mysteries.
Oh gosh. It's I the mysteries, like even just saying that, I'm like, okay, I could like literally just veer off in a whole direction about that. But to I grew up watching Hallmark with my mom and my sister. Even my dad and my brother would like pop in every once in a while. And then in, I think it was 2017 or 2018, um, started a Hallmark podcast with my friend Shawl called The Bubbly Sesh. We had so much fun. We were doing it for fun, but we also were like, oh, this would be cool if we could. It was our dream to like be in a Hallmark movie. We're like, it'd be really fun to be a part of this space. And then we started working for Hallmark in 2019. And it was interesting because Hallmark was something that has always been in my life, but to varying degrees, and something that
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know about at all, which sounds very similar to you, Dara, with this, is that the fandom. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love the fandom as much as, if not more than, the content itself, because not only, of course, are the people who make these movies like incredibly kind, caring, empathetic, creative people, but the fan community, and then like also as an offshoot from that, like specifically the podcaster community is
Mm-hmm.
so warm and fun and open, and it really feels like, oh my goodness, you have just found your people that you can yap with.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that both of us are yappers. We love to yap. So it's so fun to get to geek out over this stuff with people who get it, who
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, like I think about one of my great loves, probably like my greatest love is theater. And I could talk about that. But I knew where to find people to talk about that. Like I went to school
Mm-hmm.
for theater, I go to see theater all the time, do theater. Like I had those people I could yap about. But with Hallmark, it was like, where are they?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? Didn't know where they were until, like you're saying with Tyler and with finding the whole community, until you put a little something out there and you're like, oh, you're all here. Oh my gosh, okay, great. Now we're all over the country, but we're also going to figure out how we stay in touch, like
Mm-hmm.
virtually, and also all the events that we get to go to, which are really, really fun. So I just feel like it's a whole new family that I'd say we're due for a family reunion. So I'm really excited to see you Christmas Con.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, indeed. So, how, because this is Double Scoop. I'm going to title this A Double Scoop with Jax. That's what I've already decided to call it. Like, because you are the moment. You are an icon. You are her. And so I'm really coming at this movie, Jax, as a fan. Like, I didn't get a screener. I don't even think I read the synopsis. All I know is that you're in it, Taylor's in it, Ryan McPartland's in it, and it's about ice cream. Firstly, can we say how much this movie resonates with me because ice cream has been the theme of my summer this year? Can we talk about the amount of spontaneous trips to ice cream parlors I took this year that have made me singularly both happy but also sad because I'm like, dang, those are extra calories I didn't need. Howsoever, I want to ask you, what's your favorite ice cream?
Okay, first of all, when you said ice cream parlor, I was like, yes. Like,
Yes.
look, it's fantastic to get like a tub of ice cream that you have in your fridge. Like, sure. But like, let's do it the right way
Let's do it.
and
Yes.
go to an ice cream parlor.
Yes.
Um, like, come on. I have so many flavors that I love. Of the moment, it is really like a birthday cake ice cream with like lots of chunks in it.
Talk to
What
me.
are you enjoying like at the moment?
So I'm very experimental right now. I had one, the last one I had was, it was a Marionberry cheesecake flavor.
Love that.
Which when I saw it, it was like ding 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 slot machines, sevens all across the board. Like let's
Yes,
go,
yes,
we
yes.
hit the like let's go. I'm very much loving like you. I like when ice cream kind of comes together to taste like other things, if that makes sense. So like getting
Totally.
a waffle cone bowl with like blueberry cake ice cream or something to kind of recreate a
Mhm.
semblance of some type of blueberry pie type thing. Like that's the stuff that I like to do with my ice cream. And other times I'm just like, give me cookie dough. Like if I'm getting a
Right.
pint from the grocery store, cookie dough is my go-to. What would be your like go-to grocery store pint
I love
flavor?
a mint chocolate chip, but it can't be too minty.
Ooh, do tell. Is there a certain brand?
So I like how do you say Van Leeuwen?
Yes, yes. I
Yes.
just found out about them. I just found out about them. Yes.
And I also really like so Halo Top, and it's not some people have Halo Top because of the calories or they feel like it's healthier. I just like their mint chocolate chip because it tastes like cleaner and fresher to me and it's not
Mm,
minty.
yeah.
And I am someone who I really like sweet things.
Yeah.
So like
Cause you're sweet. I mean, it makes sense. It
thank you
makes
so
sense. You
much.
attract what you are. I get
I
it.
attract you are what you need.
There you
You I don't like
go.
I don't like bitter things.
Come on. Come
I,
on. Yes.
and so I'm gonna need that now, but there's so few like you. I like being experimental because as you were saying, the whole thing about the blueberry, what was it, Mary Berry cheesecake?
Marion Barry, yeah.
Mary Berry. I had a couple weeks ago at Van Leeuwen. I was at the one in Brooklyn and I got like a waffle cone with like a blueberry cheesecake and I walked across the Brooklyn Bridge eating it and I was like, yeah, with ice cream flavors, I'm not gonna just have my standard, this is what I always go to because I'm always with certain things, I know what I like. I get the same drink at like my coffee shop.
Yeah.
But with ice cream, I want to be kind of just experimenting.
Yes. Now, before we get deeper into the Pint of Double Scoop, the movie that will be premiering Saturday for Hallmark Channel Summer Nights 2025, and next day on Hallmark Plus, can you talk a little bit about how you got into acting in the first place? Because you mentioned theater, so I'm assuming that your introduction into the performance space was through theater. So can you talk a little bit just about how you came into it and why, what is it you love the most about it?
Um, so when I was probably 5 or 6, my little brother and sister already had, even though they're younger than me, they already had an aptitude for sports. We had like basketball hoops that like in our yard, and they were already like really good at like their fine motor skills. Their big sister was not. She liked to yap. And so my mom and my dad were like, what do we do with her? Like she likes to talk a lot. Um, what do we do with her? And I was always sort of performing around my house. So my parents put me in a community theater, like local talent show. And then I was like, oh, kind of like with our Hallmark family, I was like, oh, I found my people. So I started doing community theater when I was really little, all the way through to high school. I remember like begging my parents, like, I want to go to New York. I want to find an agent. I want to go to Stage Door Manor camp. It was this like fancy performing arts camp that's still around. Um, and they were like, my girl, we were living in Coleridge, Pennsylvania, where they still live. They're like, just enjoy being a kid, which I very much did, but was doing theater all the way coming up. Went to college for acting, then went to grad school for acting, and moved to New York. And it was really, I've always had not just such a love of it because I love to do it, but I love talking about it. I love being around it. I love watching other people perform. Um, I just think that it's such a gift to be able to like empathize with other people and tell other people's stories. And to get to do that for me just feels like such a transcendent experience, but also to be like the receiver of that. Like, I understand some people when they watch other people perform, it's hard for them because they're like, I wish that was me. I wish I was doing that. And I definitely had that. But I really feel this like symbiotic relationship with the audience because it doesn't exist without the audience. So I also, when I go to see things, I feel so activated and a part of it. And like we're sharing something kind of like what some people feel when they go to church or at some periods of time when I felt in a church where you're all in community together and it feels like this real sacred space. So yeah, I've really, I don't remember a time in my life when I didn't want to be an actor. There was a brief time after seeing Sister Act, Whoopi, I Love You, where I wanted to be an actor and a nun.
Did
Not
you?
realizing that Whoopi's not really a nun.
It don't matter for the time being. In those 2 hours, she was, and that's why. Can I just say that's something that I think I love the most too about, as a like a consumer of the arts is just for those 2 or 3 hours, however long the show is, you're in that world for that moment. Like you're not on Earth. Like
No, you're not on Earth.
that's
Yeah.
how I take it in. And I think too, I mean, I bond more closely with literature in that way for that reason, but it extends to film and theater as well. Like when I go to a show or when I watch a movie, I set a vibe and I mentally is just like, do not disturb. I put a mental D&D on to
Yes.
everything else that's going
Yes.
on. And it's just like I am in this world that these people, writers, producers, directors, costumers, whatever, have come together to create and to tell this specific story for this moment. And I appreciate y'all so much that you guys have that passion to want to do that for people. I think that that's so beautiful.
I love how you're saying, I feel the same way when it's like you truly feel like you were transported. And I really was in a world where like I was old enough and I hope smart enough by that point to realize that Whoopi Goldberg is in fact an incredible actress. She's not really a nun, but I was like, she is to me. And I want to do what this woman is doing. I still want to do what that woman is doing.
And you will. I'm going to say it. You will. You are building your legacy right now. I'm so serious. I am so
It's
serious.
Whoopi, but I hope to just like get to like hug her one day.
Yes. Yes. So, talk about how you being in theater then transitioned to the screen. What was that in terms of you transitioning your energy and focus to being on film?
I remember going to when I went to grad school, I went to a program in Houston and it was a classical acting program. And I remember thinking, well, actually at the end of college, it was either that I was going to get my MFA in acting or get my master's in theater and teach. Um, and I ended up being like, okay, if I get into an acting program, I'll do that. And then otherwise, I'll apply to MA programs and then like get a PhD. Um, and I ended up getting into a program that I really want to get into. So I was like, okay, that's the decision is sort of made for me. That's what I'm doing. And I was pretty confident. It was a program that is attached to regional theater, the Alley Theater in Houston. And I was like, oh, my life is going to be doing regional theater like all over the country. Um, and I was really excited about that because I mean, there's less and less repertory companies now, but I was like, that's going to be a really great life. I didn't even really think about film and TV. Um, and then I went on tour after grad school and moved to New York. And I love New York. Like, New York has my heart. It's so vibrant, like, so many incredible people. And, like, I feel like people are the best at what they do in New York. Like, no matter what it is, you have people like, and this is no tea, no shade to any other places I go, but it's like when I like go in and see my local barista and she's like so good and she's like doing everything at once and talking to the customers, remember everyone's order. And then I go other places, it's like it's just a bit more chill and that's great. But I do like that there's this sort of thing in New York where people like really come here to like just do it. Um, and I was doing theater for the first couple years here. And then I was doing a play off Broadway. And during that time, my agent was like, can we start submitting you for TV and film? And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but sure. And I ended like, great. Um, I ended up getting a part, a very small part, on this HBO show called The Deuce. And I remember that it paid more for one day of work than like 2 weeks of doing my play. And not that that was in any way like, because I'm definitely not, I mean, you have to work to make money, but like, I'm not as motivated by that. But I was like, oh, wow, theater. I had also been going in and out of town to do theater, and sometimes I would be making less money doing theater out of town than I would be making in town just doing like my side hustles. So I was like, oh, this might be a good way to like supplement my income so that I can continue to do theater. And then I started really, as things went on, I started really having an appreciation for what it's like to be on a film set. And it I started doing student films and I was like, oh, these people are really creative. And it's not just, I think I just love the rehearsal process for theater so much and that you get to really get to know each other and develop a character. But I
Yeah.
realized that it's kind of like a theater experience is like running a marathon and a film or TV set is like a sprint. And I get to like really just go hard. when I'm on set. So I realized how much I loved that. And I was like, oh, okay, this is something that it's not like it's giving up my love of theater, but it's storytelling in a medium that like more people have access to because at the end of the day, what is so upsetting to me about theater is that not everyone has the access to
Yeah.
it. And that's something that I really hope and endeavor to change. And I hope it does change, but more people have access to TV and film. So why not be a part of that medium?
That's beautiful. So let's talk about a set that you've been on recently for a movie called Double Scoop that brings you into the home of Dear Hallmark today. And I'm speaking like this because I saw in another interview you did with Roxanne from Everything About Hallmark. Double Scoop was shot in Birmingham, Alabama. Say what? First of all, my mom's side of the family is from Alabama, so I feel like I got ties. Can you talk a little bit about your experience filming this movie?
So I've always wanted to go to Alabama and specifically Birmingham, and I didn't really. A lot of times when I go places, it's been for work stuff. So I'm like, okay, like if I like, it's always nice when someone else is paying for you to go somewhere, and then you can like turn it into a vacation. So I actually went down like a couple days early, and it was so funny because living in New York City. Birmingham, downtown Birmingham. We were shooting in downtown Birmingham for what was supposed to be New York City. So it was a
Oh,
really
wow.
experience. They literally had New York City taxis there. And I was like, oh, I left my home in New York City to come and shoot a movie that part of it takes place in New York City, but we're shooting it in Alabama. Um, it was so fun. Like I loved getting to I was in downtown Birmingham and our first day shooting, we were shooting right across the street from the apartment that I was staying at. So it was so much fun. The people in Birmingham were so nice. I really liked, for me, getting to go away and work on something. It's such a gift because I'm able to concentrate in a different way than I would be able to concentrate if it was filming in New York. Like, of course, I'm going to give things my full attention, but
Yeah,
I'm not like doing laundry. I'm not like running errands. I'm not playing with my cats. I'm not like trying to fit in other things.
yeah,
I was there and I could just kind of be still when I wasn't on set, which is such a gift to have. And it has that summer camp atmosphere because
yeah,
none of the cast or crew lived in Birmingham. Some of them were local hires, but they didn't live right in Birmingham. So it was like everyone converging on this place that none of us live in to make this thing was really fun.
So, what is Double Scoop? Because, like I told you, I'm a fan, and so I didn't get a screener, didn't read the synopsis. I only have Hallmark Plus, so I'm not watching Hallmark Live, so I don't see any of the trailers. So, can you tell me, and also those for those listening who may not have seen any trailers either, or those watching, what's up, YouTube? Can you tell, can you tell us what Double Scoop is about? Like, what are we in for?
So this is a really cute, fun, sweet, pun intended movie, um, written by Kara J. Russell, who is a writer I think she's transitioning out of this role, but she used to work for MPCA, Motion Picture Association of America, and they produce a lot of Hallmark movies, Great American Family, Netflix, like they do a lot of these. So not only is she a really great writer, but she has been developing these stories, reading these scripts for years. So she like knows how they work and what makes them go. Um, so Nora, who is played brilliantly by Taylor Cole, is an ad exec who has just left her job at this really successful company to go with her boss to start like a startup company where they can really be at the helm and do what they want. That boss is played by the one and only Eliza Donovan of Clueless fame, like Chef's Kiss. Did not get to meet her, but of course was like DMing her and being like, "You're amazing." Um, and Ryan McPartlin is at the old firm. I think his character's James. James and Nora? Yeah. Um, he is at the firm that Nora left. They were kind of rivals when they were there. And his boss, played by Patrick Muldoon, who I think he's done a bunch of stuff. I think he's did like Melrose Place. He's also just a very funny guy. They're at the old firm. So basically, there's this competition to see who's going to get the account for Darlington Dairy ice cream. Now, Darlington Dairy ice cream is an ice cream that is introduced to Nora by her BFF, Shannon, me, because I am pregnant and I am eating lots and lots of ice cream that was, and this brand of ice cream was introduced to me by my Expectant Mommies group. So I'm telling my best friend about it. She's like, this sounds interesting. They go and they try and compete for this account. They leave New York City to go to Darlington Dairy, like to the actual farm where lots of fun happens, which I read about, but also have not seen because I wasn't on set, but I heard the farm was really fun. Um, and there's also a comedian in this named Chandra Pierce. I heard is
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes. Love her. Yes. Yes, 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 yes,
Really
yes.
funny.
That is beautiful. Yes, indeed.
So and also, and Taylor said this on another podcast, which I didn't know because I wasn't on set for these. Apparently, Chandra always went off script, but it was always really brilliant. And Taylor would be like, "Is she done? Is it time for my line?" But she was like, "I just let her go because it was so good." So I cannot wait to see how all those scenes turned out because I'm sure they're hilarious.
I love that. So, can you, on the flip side, for someone who is not familiar with non holiday Hallmark movies, how would you get them in their, like, how would you put their butts on their sofa that Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central to
I,
watch Double Scoop?
well, and I totally hear that too because, like, I'm going to be real. Like, when I'm really watching Hallmark, it's during the holiday season. And also, if a mystery's on, it doesn't matter when it is, I'm watching it. So please just listen to me and Dara, Hallmark Channel, Michelle Vickery. We'll watch those anytime, any place. They're evergreen. Put on the mysteries.
Yes.
Um, and look, I love Hallmark movies, so I will watch them, but it's not appointment viewing for me if it's not during the holiday season. So I get it. I think what is cool about this movie is that I feel like it's leaning in to some of the things about Hallmark that I really loved years ago, which is really these like seasonal franchises, right? Like fall movies that are so cozy.
Yes.
Um, Spring movies that have like the wedding season and spring fling energy. This is very much like a Hallmark summer movie, and it's gonna give you all those like vibes of like, oh, it's and also we're nearing the end of summer, right? So I think it's a great way to close out and also sort of make an event for yourself. Like when you were saying, Dara, how you like give yourself the do not disturb in the whole experience. I think for this one, like having an ice cream party with your friends and getting to like really sit down and make a whole event out of it, it's it's a Hallmark movie that it's so lovely. It's fun. It's funny. I think Taylor and Ryan have excellent chemistry. They're two very, very strong leads. But also at the end of a hot summer day, it's not going to require like we're not reinventing the wheel with this one. Like it's not going to require you to be like, okay, I'm having trouble following this plot, which actually can be great. Like I love to be intellectually stimulated. But this one is like a nice, easy summer watch with two leading actors that know this
Three.
space. Wait, what's that hot? Did
I
you say
said
hot?
three.
Great.
Three. I'm
Oh,
adding you. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
with three leading actors.
There we go.
Oh, thank you so much. Uh, that really know, I love you, Dara. That back me up. Um, that Jaclyn Collier's double scoop. That's right. You crack me up. They really are like, look, I am, and you know what? Now that yes, I did this movie for Hallmark, but now that I'm not like officially on the ongoing Hallmark payroll, I can be a little bit more forthcoming. I watch these movies for the women, for the leading ladies. Look, the guys are great. Everyone I've met is so nice. But like sometimes I feel like they just kind of have to slot someone in because like our piece de resistance, is our leading lady. And honestly, fine. Fine. When I found out it was Taylor, I'm like, okay, so they could put her with whoever, it's not going to matter. But then I found out that Ryan was in the movie, and I watched Ryan in Chuck,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this kind of changes the game for me. Like, Taylor was going to be fine no matter who they put her with, but Ryan is a darn good actor.
Yes.
And just like really, really funny. And I was like, okay, cool. She's going to have someone that can really keep up with her.
Yes.
So I also think that's why for this one, it's appointment viewing because not only do you have the two of them, but you also have a supporting cast of like Eliza Donovan, like, okay, Patrick Muldoon, like it's so exciting that for some reason they really decided to put a lot of star power in this movie, and I'm really excited about it. So I would say make it appointment viewing because one, you'll get to eat ice cream, and two, the chemistry of this cast will really make you feel like it's an elevated Hallmark experience.
Can we talk about what 2018 or 2019 Jaclyn Collier would think about 2025 Jaclyn Collier now doing podcasts, interviews about her role in a Hallmark movie? Like, can we just take some space for that?
Let me tell you that she would be losing her gosh darn mind. I still am in 2025. And I also think that there's something about the fact that, interestingly, in 2019, while I was doing the Hallmark podcast, I was also off and on tour. And on that tour, I started watching with my stage manager, who is a dear friend to this day. We started watching Chalk. Uh, and if I would have known that I would be talking to you, my dear friend Dara, about this movie that Ryan McPartlin is in, and I just met Taylor Cole around that time too, and was like, she's so beautiful, she's so sweet, she's so talented. I honestly, and then when you add in the clueless of it all with Eliza Donovan, I think I would have been like, that doesn't seem right. Like that seems like you made that up. Like that's too many good things in one. I would have been like, well, something about that's not true.
I say it's not enough good things because you deserve all the good things, Jax. I'm serious. I'm playing, but I'm serious. You know what I
And I think also if I would have looked and I would have seen that I was pregnant in the movie, I would have been like, please tell me that's a fake belly. Please tell me that you didn't decide to do that. Because I love children. I love children, but I love other people's children. And I think I would have been like, okay, crystal ball. Okay, God, did the
Right.
plan change?
What does this mean for real?
What does this mean?
How was it navigating the set with your character having a pregnant belly? Like talk to us a little bit about like getting used to that. Like did you have to do different things with your body or just like yeah, just talk about your experience doing that.
Well, it was really fun. I'd never worn a pregnant belly for anything before. And our like amazing costume team got me this pregnant belly, put it on, and honestly, like it was really cool to get to have that and to like get to like cradle my little pregnant belly. It was a little hot, a little sweaty, but honestly, like it was really it felt freeing in the sense of I think sometimes like I definitely don't subscribe to, or I hope I don't, like the sort of toxic idea of like being a certain like wait for a role or like trying to like I don't do that, but I do think sometimes when you're on set, or at least when I'm on set, I'm feeling more self-conscious about like how does this fit? Like what is this? And I was like, "Oh, I'm pregnant. Like, this is so freeing. The only thing anyone's going to be looking at is this little cute pregnant belly that is not mine, which is kind of cool. Like, it's almost like it made it easier um, for me to get into character because I was so already, there was this very physical representation of something that is like not me at
Mm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also, it did feel really freeing at the end of the night to be able to take it off when I have several friends who are pregnant right now. And I'm like, they're like, oh my gosh, how was that? I'm like, y'all, like I could sleep without being uncomfortable. Like it was pretty easy. You guys have it hard, and thank you for procreating so some of us don't have to.
Yes. Um, I forgot my next question. So, what we're gonna do?
Because we're vibing.
Because we're vibing. So, can you talk about? Thank you, Lord. Here it is. So, can you tell us a little bit about your character, Shannon? Like, talk. She's our leading lady's best friend. But what's Shannon's vibe? Like, what's the vibe we're gonna pick up from her when we watch Double Scoop?
I think the cool thing about these best friend characters, I mean, it's twofold, right? Like they're going to be the ultimate hype girl and friend. But
Mm-hmm.
if we look at, which I think is like the prototype or like the end all be all of like a BFF, you look at Carrie Fisher in When Harry Met Sally, and
Mm-hmm.
she is a hype girl, but she also has her whole interesting storyline that you're intrigued by. Um, I think what I love about Shannon is that she is there for her best friend. She's you know she's been there since the beginning, but she's also like providing all these new opportunities for her, like with this Darlington Dairy. But she's got her whole cool thing going on. So she's a high school English teacher. She's about to have her baby. She's married to this great guy named Grayson, who um, you don't see in the movie, but what's a cool little Easter egg that you can look for is when there's a scene where I am in my kitchen and on the refrigerator, there are pictures of me and my husband Grayson, who is actually my real life partner, Alex. So his pictures, I told his mom, I'm like, well, Alex is making an appearance in a Hallmark movie. So he is really on the refrigerator, which is really fun.
That is so
Um,
cute.
it was really cute. Our Lawrence Humphreys, who was actually someone that we interviewed for the podcast in like 2018, like back in the day. He was working on this project and he's so sweet. And he was like, we met before. I'm like, I know, we did the interview and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you remember? And I'm like, yeah, of course I remember. Um, so he was like, hey, do you have pictures of you and Alex for the fridge? I was like, absolutely. So I think that the thing about playing Shannon was that she's this, she has seen her best friend really pour herself into her job and kind of lose herself along the way. And she wants her best friend to be very fulfilled in her career, but also to find a little bit of balance. So
Mm.
Shannon is there to provide that and also to like make her laugh and be silly, but also tell it like it is when she has to. So I think that um, I hope that people will see their friendship and see their own friendships and our friendship because it was such a joy to get to know Taylor. She's a very special person and very kind, like very funny. And I knew she was funny on screen, but I don't think I knew like how funny and quirky she was because she fools you because she's so pretty. And you're like, "Oh, like how much of a personality can you possibly have when you're that pretty? Like I know you can do that on screen, but like what's real, she's actually just really interesting. Must have had an awkward phase to develop that, right?
I love that. And I love you. And
You know those girls that you don't trust? Like Dara, I have this is a bit of a tangent, but I fear
go ahead.
for our Gen Z and Gen A girls now, they're not having their awkward phases. How are they going to develop personalities? Same with the boys too, but I care about the girls.
Of
Like,
course.
what are they going to do? Like obviously we had to go through an awkward phase because we're so funny and charming. Like,
What was your
here we are
awkward
now.
phase? What was your awkward like what does your awkward phase entail?
Oh, okay. So I have some pictures. I would say the awkwardest was the most awkward was like 10 and a half to like 14, it
Mm.
was like sun in, like so like bleach blonde, but like not in a good way. I was very, very, very skinny in like a way that like was unfortunate. Like there I couldn't figure out how to like manage my growing body
Hmm.
and was wearing like I remember an outfit that I thought was the hottest outfit. It was red high tops with white stockings because I didn't wear shorts without stockings. Blue corduroy shorts, red suspenders with a sunflower t-shirt. And that actually sounds like it could be cool, but like I also was doing a thing where I was like braiding my hair in these weird little things with like the big clips. And it was just, oh, and I had big glasses. So like the whole thing, I got made fun of. And you know what? That's okay. Because I look back at her and I'm like, you were doing okay, girlfriend. Like you were. No, did you actually have an awkward face?
I did because I didn't really talk to people until college. I was so around, and I was when you said 10 to 14, I think that like I that's a block of time I distinctly remember. I got heavily into solitaire, had a sister, remained a loner, didn't like I still acted like I was an only child, which is, that's a whole other conversation. But played Monopoly by myself with my little invisible TV character friends. Like whatever TV show I had just watched, those would be the people that would play Monopoly with me. And I would just read books and keep to myself. Didn't go outside, didn't like run around in the streets because we lived in an apartment building as I was growing up. So that wasn't a thing. Didn't do extracurriculars. Like I was heavily domesticated. Like I did not I was not
I
outside
love
running.
that. Heavily domesticated.
Yeah. And it wasn't, I mean, I sort of got a little bit, like I had a few friends in high school, but I remember one time, like the class was talking so much that I just got so irritated and I yelled. I was like, everybody shut up so our teacher can talk. And then one guy was just like, who said that? Because of how much I didn't talk. But
I
it
love it.
was
That's when you were like, I'm going to assert myself. And it's like, you haven't spoken all year.
right, like, but who are you? Like, hi, my name is whatever. But it wasn't until college, and I think because I wasn't around, I was outside of my element. And I didn't go far for college. I went to Penn State main campus, which is only, 3.5 hours. So, but because no, like, it was just me. Like, I was forced into situations where I had to engage people. And I think that was where it started, where I started talking. And like I was being sarcastic with someone in Facebook. This was when Facebook Messenger was all the rage.
God.
And this guy was like, oh, when did you become so sarcastic? I was like, you're just getting used to it, but I've always been this way.
I just
I'm
wasn't sharing it with the class.
correct. This wasn't a show and tell. This was something that I
I
got to myself. But that was, yeah, so that
can
was fun.
imagine at Penn State, which love, that was like the school that I went to a few times when I actually wanted to like have a real college experience. Because it's not an awesome school. Like there's so many people there that you have to kind of like find your
Yes.
and not that like I'm definitely an introvert as far as like I'm very outgoing, but to recharge I need to be alone. But I feel like at a big school like that, you have to very actively make your way. So I'm sure that that like helped in that
It
process.
absolutely did. But you know what's crazy? As much as that activated my personality, COVID then suppressed it. As to where when, the gates lifted and we got to introduce ourselves back to society, I had severe social anxiety around like 2022, which was crazy. That's when I got back into the workforce and people thought I was antisocial. And someone told me that. That's why I was like, it kind of woke me up because I was like, moi, I am not antisocial. And that really was a rude awakening. And so I, did some work on myself. And here we are talking with Jaclyn Collier about double school.
We're not socially awkward.
Come on.
I was when you said about that after COVID, like I was thinking about the first outing I went to And what was amazing about it was like my friend's improv show. And it was a long time into COVID because it was like the improv show was like obviously like those didn't open up for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember feeling so socially awkward and being awkward, but then for some reason having the joy of realizing that everyone else was being real weird. Everyone and the things we were talking about, it was like I just remember looking into my brother-in-law's eyes, who I'm really close with. We went to college together too, and we were both like, we don't know how to do this anymore. Like no one knew how to do anything anymore. And people just kept abandoning conversations halfway through because they would feel weird about themselves. So yeah, like honestly, the person who said that to you, they don't even understand. Like maybe they just didn't have the chip of self-awareness to be like, this is a thing that happened with COVID.
And now I speak to everyone when I get on an elevator and when I see people down the hallway, I'm just like, hi. And they're just, now I think, I like the pendulum swung the other way now. And it's just like, you ain't gonna not see me or not talk to me.
You
If
will know
I'm in
me.
your orbit. Yeah, absolutely. If you don't know me by name, you know my calling card and you know you've seen me. So.
I was gonna accuse you being antisocial.
Okay, I said never that and never again. Never again. Oh my gosh. Well, oh, it pains me to say, but our time has come to an end. And what I like to do for my guests is to let them, and I didn't do this last time because I was so excited. But I promise you this time, I'm going to let you talk because I like to give guests the last word. Whatever you want to talk about, ice cream, college electives, like theater, it's literally your moment to have with the people. And I'm going to let you have your moment, Jaclyn Collier. So everyone, ladies and gents, cats and dogs, detectives and doctors, please, everyone, shh, quiet on the set, as Jaclyn Collier will give us her last words right here.
So this is going to be an invitation and also a plea for you, Dara, as well as any of our friends who want to join us during Christmas con time to do an escape room. I would like to do an escape room. I will start planning it now. Now, but the only caveat is that, well, Dara knows this already. My sister's having a baby. She's due a couple weeks before that. If she's late or something, I will have to cancel this. So I just want to be forthcoming. But I love escape rooms. I am passionate about escape rooms. I am not great at them, but I love them. And I would like to invite the Dear Hallmark fam to do an escape room with us. I will be happy to organize it. I would say that we need 8 people, and I'm including you in the. Oh wait, sorry. I thought you were frozen. You were so cute.
I'm literally physically. Yes, please. I've never done one, and I've always wanted to do one, so I'm super down for this.
Okay, I don't mean to seem like one of those like weird, like it's some sort of like fetish that I have, but like the fact that it's going to be your first time fills me with excitement and joy. I'm going to make it really special for you in a non-creepy way. So we're going to do this. I think we need probably 6 more people. So message your girls. And if you want to do the escape room with us, I can probably find one in Jersey that works that's near Christmas Con. If people are coming to the city, great, we could do that too. But I've done a lot of them in the city. I think that that's what I would love to do as my Christmas present. So let's do this.
I'm literally speechless. I don't know what else to say. So everyone who's listening and watching, that, ladies and gentlemen, is Jaclyn Collier. I mean, if you don't know, now you know. If you didn't know, you're welcome. So all of her information is going to be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube, or in the podcast notes if you're listening via audio, via podcast. Well, ladies and gents, detectives and doctors, that's going to do it for me here for this episode of Dear Hallmark. She's Jaclyn. I'm Dara, and I'll catch you on the rebound. Ciao, my friends.
Bye.